Namaskar. I'm Abhisek, and in this episode, I will be going through one of the freeCodeCamp projects that we will be building together. So basically, I'm trying to get a certificate of JavaScript certificate from freeCodeCamp, and for getting to that, we need to meet some requirements for the eligibility, and that includes all the certification projects to be completed. So I've already completed the build markdown to HTML converter. Now I'll be going for this build a drum machine project. So we'll be building this drum machine project. So let's get started. So let's begin the fun. Um, let's build a drum machine. Let's go through the instructions. Build an application that is functionally similar to this example project. Try not to copy the example project, give it your own personal style. Okay. QWE, three buttons are there. Okay. So if we do click on power on, switch on the power on, then these are all making sounds. And if we are trying to click with the power off, I'm unable to click anything. And if we do a power on, heater kit. Okay, this is the volume. So if we make the volume as zero, if we make the volume as zero and try to click, nothing is audible. Okay, and if we go for the heater bank, if we go for the heater bank, then you can see we are getting the open HH. And if we are going for the smooth piano kit, this is closed HH. So we'll go through this instructions and see how to build this thing. I don't know anything about it, so this is my first time trying to build something. So let's get started. Objective is to fulfill the user stories below and get all the tests to pass to complete the lab. User stories, you should have a div element with an ID of drum machine that contains all other elements. Okay, so we have to build it fully together. I thought like we are only building the because it's only a JavaScript certification, so I thought like we will only be building the JavaScript of it, but looks like we have to also write the HTML. Hopefully, CSS is also, unfortunately, CSS is also not there, so we also need to write the CSS. So let's see how we can um, go through this together. You should have a div element with an ID of drum machine. Okay, we'll create a div element with an ID of drum machine. And inside the drum machine element, you should have another div with an ID of pad bank. Okay, so um, we'll have another div pad bank. Okay, then inside the drum machine element, you should have a P element with an ID of display. So inside the drum machine, we would have a P element, which is a paragraph element with ID of display. And inside your pad bank element, you should have 9 clickable drum pad elements with a class of drum pad, a unique ID that describes the audio clip the drum pad will be set up to trigger, and an inner text that corresponds to one of the following keys on the keyboard. Q W E A S D Z X C. The drum pads must be in this order. Okay. So inside the pad bank element, we will create some button elements because buttons something which we can click. So we will create um, the required buttons with a class of uh, the class of drum pad, and we will keep the ID as something unique, maybe like uh, a drum pad Q or something similar like that. So we'll copy this, and we have to make how many keys? Nine keys. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Yeah. So we'll copy this nine times. And we'll make it separate, like three by three grid inside this. So first of all, we will just make the keys add the IDs of the key and the values of the key, so that it will be easy for us to identify them. So X, then C. So we have got all the keys in the order, and each drum pad should have an audio element which has a class of clip, a source attribute that points to an audio clip, and an ID corresponding to the inner text of its parent. Okay, so okay, we do not have to give this kind of IDs. We will remove these IDs, and we'll make these IDs as it is mentioned. Okay. Um, so we will add a each drum pad should have an audio element which has a class of clip, a source attribute that points to and an ID. Okay, so these IDs are fine. We will have a audio element, audio and clip. Sorry, the class of clip, and with the ID of the corresponding IDs. So this will have. So first of all, let us just copy all of them, and then we will change the IDs together. So what I did is I clicked the Alt key, and then so I clicked on the individual um, positions to add multiple cursors. Alt and then the individual positions to add multiple cursors. And this is in Windows, so accordingly, that is how it should be. When you clicked on the drum pad element, the audio clip contained in its child audio element should be triggered, and when you press the trigger key associated with each drum pad, the audio clip contained in its child audio element should be triggered. For example, pressing the Q key should trigger the drum pad which contains the string Q. Pressing the W key should trigger the drum pad which contains the string W, etc. When a drum pad is triggered, you should display a string describing the associated audio clip as the inner text of the display element. Each string must be unique. So, some audio samples you can use for your drum machine can be found at this address. And so, what we will do is we will add the sources for this. So, again, we will do a multi cursor editing, and we will add the sources. Let's say for this we will add first one, heater 1, then heater 2, then heater 3, then heater 4, heater 6 will be the clap, and the drum names as well, we will be displaying them in the display panel. So and we will see how to write the code. First of all, we are writing the required skeleton of the page, so that it will be easy for us to know. Okay, so uh, what we will do is we will add the drum names as a data set, a data attribute. Data drum name, and we will add the drum names here. So for the first one, second one, third one, fourth, clap, open HH, kick and hat, kick, closed HH. So so this is how we will be uh, on when we click on these individual buttons, we will pick the drum names and show it in the display. So let's before designing, I would first create the JavaScript, so that we can, because design part is something which is optional. We can design, but let's create the JavaScript of it, and will pass the project basically. So okay, and inside the pad bank element, you should have 9 clickable drum pads. Okay, and a unique ID that describes the audio clip the drum pad will be set up to trigger. So I don't think we need the IDs here, but since we have already written, let it be. We'll see how to proceed further from that. So let's run the test and see if the HTML part is passing properly or not. So we can see here the HTML part till this point is passing. What we next need to do is the JavaScript part of it. When you click on a drum pad element, the audio clip contained in its child audio element should be triggered. So we'll see we'll first of all save the code, and then we'll go back and check how the audio in the audio lesson we created, we worked how to trigger the audio. So here we learned about that, how to trigger it. So You can see here, if we review this, we'll see that we'll get the audio element and then run the play button. So we will again go back to the drum machine, open the script tag, script tab, and then we will confine this inside a function like a EP. So um, uh, if we as in immediately invoked function expression. So we will create a. We will first of all add a event listener on this pad bank. So let's get the pad bank element. So we'll use query selector. We could also use the get element by ID, um, and we'll add event listener on this. So we'll add a click event listener on this, and then we'll see get the current target uh, from that event, and let's console log and see how what is the current target having. So we'll see the check it. So when we okay, one thing we forgot is to add the script tag at the end of the body element. So we'll add the script tag, and now when we click on the buttons, so we want the target, not the current target. So when we click on the buttons, we will get the actual buttons which are being clicked. So you can see here the buttons that we are clicking. We got the buttons, and now what we will do is uh, we'll find the audio element inside that. So how do we find it? So let's do one thing first. The target we will be uh, drum pad element. Okay, so this is the target. So the drum pad element dot query selector will get the audio, and let's console log the that audio element which is within the drum pad. So we'll clear it and type. So yeah, drum pad element. So here we got the audio element which is stored inside the drum pad element. And what we will do is we will play the audio element whenever that click event happens. And also we will um, Also need to get the display element and then print the name of the audio clip that is being played. So you get the display element document.get query selector uh, display. So we'll get the display element, and then inside that, first we need to get the drum pad elements data attribute. We need the drum name from there. So let's see, let's debug this. We are doing it line by line so that we know what and how, what exactly we are doing. So let's see if it is working or not. So we see that we got the sound from it. Yeah. And let's see if we are getting the name. So uh, we got the sound, but the drum name. So over the data set, it's actually data set. So we will see. Yeah. Um, let's log this data set. What is coming in the data set? So we see that the data set was when we tried to get the drum name from the data set, it was showing as empty. So in from data set, okay, the drum name is coming in a camel case. So we can just so we got the drum name here, and then we will simply add it to the text content uh, in the display, so that the display will give the drum name. Okay. So apart from having a click event, we also should be able to use the keyboard buttons. So so that's where those IDs are coming, and we will see how we can best make use of it. So we will make a function from this. We'll segregate, refactor this, and create a function. Um, audio playback, audio playback, and we will also add a key press event to that. So yeah. So whenever we press at a certain key, it should be able to, when you press one of the keys on your keyboard, the corresponding audio element should play the corresponding sound. So what we need to do is we'll add a event listener in the document itself for the key press, and we will find out the particular, we'll find out the particular key which was pressed. Let's log it. So we can see that we got the key. Now what we need to do is, from the pad bank element, we will need to find the button which has an button which has an ID of, we find a, not a button but actually a drum pad with an ID of a drum pad and then the key. So this way we will be able to get to the exact element, the uh, drum pad element. So we will be also, let's log it. So when we, okay, yeah. So should be with the hyphen. So you can see here we got the drum pad element. Now we will do the same thing which we did here. So what we will do is, since we are doing the same thing what is happening here, we will also do the same thing. Audio playback, then pass the target as the drum pad element. So so now you can see uh, we got it. So now this should not be null if drum pad element is present, then we proceed, otherwise it will return. So you, anything else that we press, it will nothing will happen. And so now let's see if we are passing the test. So see that when you press one of the keys, keyboard, the corresponding audio element should play the corresponding sound. So I guess that is not working. Maybe we should add this apart from here, uh, on key press. So add this on key press. Not just to the document, but maybe to the pad bank element. I think that will be better. So, so let's run the tests once again. Okay, the one thing that is not working is when you press one of the keys. Um, so actually, we should be adding it to the document because that's where we are clicking. Hmm. We did press Q, W, E, A, S, D, Z, Z, X, C. For all of them, when we press the key in the keyboard, the corresponding audio element are playing. But I'm not sure like why the test is not passing. I will take help from others also why it is not passing. We'll see how they respond. For now, every other tests are passing. The only thing that is not passing is this keyboard press event. So let's do key down and let's run the tests. Yes. So with the key down event, it works. So yeah, we will submit this. And if we want any more CSS related stylings, we can do that later. But for the JavaScript certification, we do not need that. It's good to do for your own benefits. We'll submit this. Yeah. So now we have completed build a drum machine project certification project. Next, we will be starting with the build a voting system in the next episode. So till then, goodbye. Thank you. Namaskar.